Every single bride wants their wedding to be absolutely unique. And this is just a sample of what you can find at Magnifique Boutique. Jennie Streitberger is here to talk about the modern vintage wedding.
Yes.
So what's the difference?
Well, modern wedding,
vintage
you know, vintage would be, you don't want to be old necessarily, as far as a lot of brides, I have brides coming into my shop all the time that are saying, when I ask them what their theme is, and they'll say kind of a modern vintage wedding, where the facility will be, you know, a newer facility, their dresses, newer dresses, but wanting some modern touches, but then also having the vintage touches as far as, for example, this wedding gown right over here. This gown is made by Stephanie James Couture, and she specializes in this 1940s, 1950s vintage theme dresses, but the dress is new.
Okay, that's what I was just going to ask you.
The dress is new.
It's
yes, it is a new dress.
Absolutely beautiful. And what would be the price point on something like that?
This one is about $2,000, and these dresses range from about $1,600 to about $3,500, depending on the dress. They're very fun because also the petticoats underneath, they can be in a color as well. This one is just an ivory, but if you wanted fuchsia pink, any other colors, you can get it in a color. You can also get it where the, you know, pink would be sticking out at the bottom. And then on this model here, I have the hat on it, so the pillbox hat, and these have been really popular.
So a hat instead of a veil?
Yes.
Oh.
And even the birdcage veils have been very, very popular.
Oh, because then he has to, you know, the bridegroom,
pulling
the
it
groom
up,
has to...
yes, and then they can wear something fun afterwards. Wear this for the ceremony, and then maybe wear a fun flower in your hair, or something like that. All of these hats, for instance, are by a local designer. Her name is Tree Marie with Love and Sass. She custom makes all of these hats. Some of them have the birdcage veil already attached. She can custom make it matching towards the dress style as well. And she's just fantastic. And then even to tie in with the bridesmaids' dresses, these are all by Lynn Lugo. They're all in raw silks.
Now, why would that be considered vintage?
Well, what I've kind of done with these is accessorizing. You have the new dress, but then you can go to any, you know, antique store. Find an old brooch or something like that.
That's a gorgeous item.
Add a ribbon to the dress. This dress just came as a black dress. I added the ribbon, I added the brooch, and also pearls, for instance. A lot of brides think, oh, I'm going to have to wear my mom or my grandmother's old pearl necklace that they might not like. You can change it, make it a little bit more vintage. For this one, for instance, just a standard pearl choker, but adding in the brooch to it. Or even adding in, like I'm wearing these pearl strands on my wrist, it's kind of a modern vintage look to it. So it doesn't have to necessarily be, you know, what a lot of people think of, oh, I don't want to look like my grandmother. I don't want to have this dress covering my arms, my sleeves, and things like that.
I understand. So give us some tips on how to be modern vintage without being antique.
Just being unique and keeping it towards what you want for your wedding, and not necessarily going to things that are, you know, really old, but just going for something that kind of ties in with your style. It doesn't have to be things
like,
that...
here's an example that's up on the television now. Why does this fit that mold so well?
This one is a perfect example of it because with the hairpiece, with the hat she has on, it's definitely a vintage 1950s style hat. The dress is very 1950s style, but the dress is new. Also, the shoes she's wearing are very 1950s style, where it is old, but it doesn't look antiquated. It doesn't look...
Oh, that's just fun.
You know, it's just fun. It's unique. It's different. I mean, for this next picture here, you can see she has the strappy lace-up type of shoes on, which is a modern type of shoe.
And that's a very 40s style dress, isn't it?
40s style dress, but it is being made more modern with the shoes and even with the hairpiece. Feathers are fantastic as well.
Oh, it looks like she's going to be marrying a pilot.
Yes. A lot of people are wearing the feather sprays in their hair now as well, too, for the ceremonies and receptions. So it's definitely, a lot of people are being very flexible. They're being very unique and different and making things more their own and having things where it's something that a lot of their wedding guests have never seen before, too.
Yeah, isn't that fun to be able to dazzle them with your wedding dress? I mean, that's what we're all after.
Yeah, you all want, you know,
the same thing.
Something that people have never seen before, something where you're getting all those compliments. Yes.
All right. Well, Jennie, thank you very much. You're from Magnifique Boutique, and you can always find out what's hot and what's not Saturday mornings at 9 on Weddings Portland style. Should we try on the hat?
Yes.
I'm going to look like
this
Minnie
one just
Pearl.
off to the side, just like that. Yes.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.